So, one of the major websites of Antifa is calling for an all out war against ICE. That's Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, as I'm sure all of you know. This has already been going on. We hear about these, essentially, they are terrorist attacks. These are like the sniper that was shooting up a ICE facility in Texas. But ICE have been attacked, especially on the West Coast, because they want to protect their coveted immigrants, their illegal immigrants, because that's their ticket to winning politically. So the reason why the rhetoric is being stepped up on the left is because they're incensing the impending doom, the complete loss politically, and pretty soon it's going to be physically as well. Trump finally declared them as a terrorist organization, as he should have done on his first term. Really, they should have been declared as a terrorist organization like 15 years ago. But I believe he did it now for political reasons. And I think this is something that he was already planning to doing. Hence, that's why he was sending in troops into major cities like Chicago. And now he's sending them into Portland. The left, the far left, as well as the establishment, they are nihilists. Nihilism is anti-reason. And human beings, we need to have things make sense. So when you're living in reality, you have responsibilities. You're not one of the elite, or you're not a trust fund kid, or you're not completely whacked out on drugs like a lot of these people are. You need to have things make sense. You cannot live and adopt a nihilistic philosophy. But nonetheless, that's what these factions have adopted. They adopted nihilism. And because of that, they had no chance in winning the intellectual argument because they lost right from the start with that. And they're losing politically because a lot of the illegal aliens, I believe a figure of something like 1.3 million of which have already self-deported. And as inefficient as ICE has been, unfortunately, they are deporting a lot of illegal aliens. Politically, things are turning in such a way that the left is not going to be able to cheat, or at least not very easily, in elections, and they've already lost the argument. So what's happening is that they're losing politically in a very major way. James Comey just got indicted. There are rumors of more indictments. There's rumors that Soros is panicking in his geriatric state. I hope he has a sense of hell before he actually dies, because he deserves it. He's such a you-know-what. But so they're talking about stepping up actual attacks. So the elite and the left, sensing their impending doom, want to create a crisis. They want to create a major national crisis to shake things up enough to hopefully, from their perspective, change the situation to get themselves out of trouble. The left absolutely will lose this physical confrontation because the general public is definitely not on their side. The federal government is in the process of getting cleaned up. There's still a lot of bad people in our government, but nonetheless, they don't have full control of our government. They have control of states like California, and they have control of the blue cities, but that's not enough. If they do something like this, they're going to lose. Okay, the general public is against these people. They're seen as the terrorists. They're seen as the bad guys. They're seen as siding with the foreign agents over our country, which leads me to my next point. And this situation of desperation, I would expect the establishment to launch a false flag. Maybe they set off a nuclear weapon and blame it on Russia. I wouldn't be surprised if, by the way, one of the other globalist factions, that is the neocon Zionist faction, gives them a hand in doing so. Because I think that they also sense that the general public doesn't like the fact that Israel has so much control in Washington, D.C. People are catching on to that. They don't like it. And in the next coming years, that's on its way out also. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like Netanyahu also has a hand in creating the chaos. But I'll put this, by the way, this is from Zero Hedge, and it's a relatively short article. I'll put a link in the description below. I'm just giving everybody a heads up. We already know this is going to happen. You got nationalism taking over in Europe. I'm sure that attacks will step up in Europe as well. The elites are going to try to push for an actual hot war with Russia. Like I said, they're going to do false flag attacks. They're going to have a nuke go off somewhere and blame it on Russia. That is a very real possibility. Or a cyber attack. That can happen too. They may even have people dress up as quote unquote far right and do a false flag that way and try to demonize the far right. Again, I wouldn't put anything past these people. They're in a lot of trouble intellectually and politically as well. And, in that situation, they want to create a crisis. So give everybody heads up on that.